Good morning, students. Welcome on the onset of online learning platform. This is the very previous video after the summer vacation. So, welcome all of you once again on the onset of online learning platform. Today, we will study chapter number 3 of class 7th supplementary reader. The title is The Desert. Understand? So, what is desert? Desert is a generally without water and vegetation, as we know it. A green patch with fresh water and green trees in the middle of vast desert is a beautiful sight. We are going to read these things. A desert may be too hot or too cold. Those of us who live in regions covered with forest and surrounded by hills may find it difficult to imagine what a desert is really like. So, the people who live in the area that is covered with forest and surrounded by hills, they will feel difficult, they find difficult to think what a desert really like. The popular belief is that it is an endless stretch of sand where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation grows. And this is the popular belief that is believed by common people, that is believed by people. This is a popular. What is the popular belief? The popular belief is that the desert is an endless stretch of sand and where no rain falls and therefore no vegetation. Vegetation means plant and trees grow. It is dry, hot, waterless and without shelter. We think that it is very hot, waterless, without water and without any shelter. Place to live, place to dwell. But this is not entirely correct. But is not totally correct. For those who have studied it, the deserts can be a beautiful place. But the people who have studied, they can know that the desert is a very beautiful place, tremendous place. It is the home of variety of people. Different type of people are here. Variety means different. Animal and plants, we can get different type of people, different type of animals and different type of plants that have learned to live under very hot and dry condition. And these plants, animals and people have made themselves, they have adapted themselves according to the hot condition, and they live there by making harmony, adapted themselves. True, the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass, plants and tree as it is the other in other climates. It is true that the ground is not always hidden by a cover of grass as you see in plain areas, not covered. The desert is not covered of grass, covered with grass, plants and trees as it in other climates in comparison of other climates. But whenever it rains, there will be rain, which is rare. Which is rare means we can say that very difficult. It is very rare. Seldom we can say that. Desert flowers bloom, and then the desert flowers started to bloom, started to blossom, started to bloom, and the sight can be as rewarding. And when there will be rain in the desert, the flowers started to bloom, and the sight can be as rewarding, and the scenery will be rewarding, pleasant. enjoyable, we can say that. Rewarding means pleasant, enjoyable, as that of any tropical garden. Any tropical garden means warm and humid garden. We can see that tropical means we can say that evergreen, that are looking evergreen, and tropical means in study, in social study, in social sorry in geography, we know that the area between equator and tropic of Cancer, the area between equator and tropic of Capricorn will be known as tropical. Understand? So these are the areas where there will be more rain and the vegetation will be dense and evergreen. Understand? So the site will be rewarding as that of any tropical garden, evergreen garden, we can say that. A desert is not always a flat, unchanging wasteland of dry sand. And we can say that a desert is not always a flat. A desert is not only a flat, unchanging wasteland. Wasteland means, what do you mean by the term? Wastelands means a land that can't be cultivated. Desert is not always a flat, unchanging wasteland, not wasteland of dry sand. We can get, it may have mountains. You can get mountains, hills. Always it is not true that the desert is a wasteland. Infertile, we can say that. Wasteland means here a land that can't be cultivated, barren land, बंजर, हमेशा बंजर जमीन ही नहीं है desert. It may have mountains and hills. It may have oases. And what do you mean by the term oasis? A fertile space in a sandy or barren desert. Fertile space. Big or small, it may have an oasis, big or small. And what is oasis? An oasis is like a green island in the middle of a desert, where a spring or well gives plants and trees a better chance to grow. And we can say that oasis is a place where you can get water, plant, trees and animals in the mid of desert. And that is a better place where the trees will be grown. This is a better chance for trees to be grown. A desert may be hot like Thar or cold like Ladakh. But generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation, people usually call it a desert. A desert may be hot like the Thar in Rajasthan or cold like in Ladakh. Understand? But generally speaking, if a place has little or no water and vegetation. But generally we speak that is a place where no water and no vegetation. People usually call it a desert. Understand? We believe that desert is a place where we can't get water and plant and what? Plant and trees. Some deserts are almost totally without water. Some deserts are bereft of water. You can't get it. You can't get the water. In such places, strong winds blow raising heaps of sand and depositing them as mounds. And these are called sand dunes that shift and move endlessly across the desert. And some deserts are totally without water. In such places, the strong wind will blow raging heaps. Winds blow raging heaps, make the heap of sand, and that will be deposited to another place by the help of wind. It will be eroded from one place and deposited to another place, and that will be known as mound. जिसको हम टीला बोलते हैं हिंदी में, we can say it. These are called sand dunes. and that shift and move endlessly across the desert. And these things happen in desert. These are called sand dunes across the desert. Few plants can survive on such dry, shifting sands. And only few plants can survive on such dry, hot place and shifting sand when the sands are shifting from one place to another place. Understand? Come on the next. All living things need water in order to survive. The few plants and animals that live in deserts have developed the ability to require less water than most plant and animals. And all the living things need water in to survive, to live, to be alive. And the few plants and animals that live in deserts have developed, they had developed the ability, they had been adapted themselves. Deserts have developed the ability to require less water than most plants and animals. In comparison of other plants and animals, the desert animals and plants can live. They had they have developed the ability to live in less water. Understand? The camel, popularly known as the sheep of the desert, can drink a lot of water at one time. At one time, the popularly camel is known as sheep of the desert, take a huge amount of water. And camels can do without water for days together. Camel can live for days together without water. The reason why? What is the reason? The reason is they sweat very little. The reason they sweat, they perspirate. Perspirate means उन्हें पसीना कम होता है. Understand? They sweat very little. We sweat. We perspirate because we must keep our body temperature constant. We sweat because we need to maintain our temperature, the temperature of our body. We sweat when it gets hot, and this cools the body. When it will be hot, we will sweat and our body will be cooled by sweating. Camels can stand high body temperature. They don't need to sweat and can therefore retain the water they drink for long periods of time. And we know that camels can stand high body temperature. Camels can bear high body temperature. They have high body temperature and they don't need to sweat, to perspirate. Understand? To sweat and can. And because they are not sweating, they retain, they keep the water, whatever the water they drink, they keep it for long periods of time because they don't sweat. The smaller desert animals don't drink water. They burrow underground during the hot day and come out at night to eat. Some smaller desert animals, they don't drink water. They burrow underground. They hide inside the burrow means a big gap, big hole. Understand? They hide under the land and under the sand underground. They burrow underground during the hot day and they come out at night to eat something. Some of them eat other animals and get the water they need from the moisture in the meat. And some of the animals eat other animals and they get water from the moisture of the meat. Others eat and other animals eat plants and seeds and get the water they need from plants uses. And other animals eat plants, seeds, and they get water from plant juices. Desert plants also adapt themselves to the life they lead. Understand? The desert plants they had adapted. What do you mean by the term adapt? To make suitable. Desert plants also, they had make themselves suitable according to the situation, to the life they lead, according to the climate, according to the condition they have been changed, they have been able to adapt the condition. Understand? According to the condition, according to the climate. Cactus plants store water in their thick stem. Understand? Cactus plants store water in their thick stems. The roots lie close to the surface of the ground and quickly absorb the moisture from the light rains that occasionally fall. The major feature of all deserts is, of course, dryness and variation of temperature. And you know that cactus plant store water in their thick stem, अपने तने में. Their roots lie close and their roots are lie close to the surface. Their roots are close to the surface of the sand, the ground. They are not rooted under the earth. They are on the surface of the ground. So they quickly absorb means take. They will take quickly the moisture from the light rains because the roots are surface of the ground. That occasionally fall. When the occasionally means by chance, when there will be rain, they will take the moisture from the rain. The major feature of all desert is, what is the main feature of all desert is there, of course, dryness. You will get dryness, hotness, and you will get differences in temperature. In humid climates, in hot climates, the moisture in the air. In humid climates, the moisture in the air acts like a blanket and protects the earth's surface from the hot rays of the sun. And humid climate, in the hot climate, understand? You can say it humid, hot. The moisture in the air, whatever the moisture will be available in the air, that will act like a blanket and protects the earth surface from the hot rays of the sun. And the humidity in the air will protect the earth from the hotness of the sun, and that will work as a blanket. The absence of this blanket in the desert lands causes the desert to heat up rapidly during the day and to cool off rapidly at night. And because of the absence of this blanket in desert land, the desert becomes heat up rapidly during the day, and it becomes too cold rapidly at a night because of the absence of the blanket. Understand? Deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. They are there like the dense forest and the deep oceans. Just because they are hot and dry, one should not look upon them as useless parts of the earth. As you know that deserts are an important part of nature's great plan. Deserts are important part of nature. God has made the desert, and it is the part of nature. It is a part of great planning of the nature, and they are like the dense forest, thick forest, ghane jungle. They are there like the dense forest and deep oceans, just like the deep oceans and deep dense forests are. In this way, Deserts are important part of the nature. And just because they are hot and dry, only because of their dryness and hotness, one should not look upon them as useless parts of the. We must not look them as useless part of the earth. Understand? Thanks for watching the video. Thank you.